A United States education is your gateway
to a great American campus experience,
to study in a country of innovators and entrepreneurs,
to use your curiosity wisely,
to take on challenges,
to think differently,
to have endless opportunities,
to hear new perspectives,
to navigate cultural differences,
to pursue your passions,
to gain real-world experiences,
to learn skills for a changing job market,
to put theory into practice,
to become the kind of professional you want to be,
to thrive in your career,
to give back to your community and to the world,
to be the kind of person that you wouldn't have dreamed to be otherwise.
Come study.
Come study.
Come study.
Come study in the United States.
Greetings, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. We are here together one more time. And today we're going to talk about how to create a winning resume for your United States college application. My name is Alexander Villero, and today with us we have Aynash. You already met her last week, and I will tell you a little bit more about her. So Aynash is a career counselor with over a decade expertise in professional orientation. Aynash works with prospective bachelor's degree students and their parents applying to the United States universities. So we are in good hands. Aynash knows a lot about how to create this winning resume. So feel free to leave your questions in the comment section. And if we will manage, we will answer them online or we will answer them later in the written form. Now, Aynash, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Alexander. And hello, today we're going to talk about how to create the resume to the US universities. So again, my name is Aynash, and you are free to ask any questions you want after the presentation. Today we will talk about the difference between the resume and curriculum vitae. If you don't know this new word as curriculum vitae, we're going to explain it to you, and also about the document structure and how to describe your experiences and how to write your activity section in Common App. We will talk about everything I have mentioned in this presentation in today's session. So resume and curriculum vitae. If we most of us know what's resume. When we are applying to the job, usually we use resume, and some of students who already applied to the US universities may be aware of what is curriculum vitae. So purpose of resume and curriculum vitae are to highlight your education, experience, and skills to demonstrate your qualification and fit for particular position or program. So resume is the most common document which is used for job application and also for the interview and when the students are applying to the US university. Curriculum vitae, or CV as it's called, is a document that provides an overview of a person's education, work experience, skills, achievements, and other relevant professional qualifications. So what's the difference? Unlike resume, curriculum vitae is longer, so the resume typically shorter and focuses on specific experiences and skills relevant to a particular job or to the application to the university. Curriculum vitae is more comprehensive and detailed. So, key differences between resume and curriculum vitae. First of all, is resume is concise summary of work experience and education, so it's 1 or 2, maximum 2-page length. Curriculum vitae is a detailed account of academic research experiences and accomplishments such as honors, awards, publications, and so on. Usually, it is 5 or more pages in length. Resume, usually when we create resume, we usually use bullet points. When we create curriculum vitae, usually we use paragraphs as we have to explain, and usually we don't use the keywords. Usually we use phrases and sentences to open up our experience and relevant academic background. Next is resume used to apply for undergraduate admissions and jobs in industry, nonprofits, and public sector. Curriculum vitae is mostly used for graduate applications, positions in academia, research funding, and so on. So the key difference between resume and curriculum vitae is that resume is mostly used, in our case, for application to the undergraduate degree, and curriculum vitae is mostly used for the application to the graduate degree. But still, if you are applying to the graduate degree and you don't have such things as academic experience, working in academia, research experience, or publications, you can use resume in your application. Today we're gonna focus on resume as we use it in our, mostly we use it in application to the undergraduate degree, but as I said, we can use it in your application to the graduate degree if you don't have enough information to fill the curriculum vitae. So, key components of the resume which you should highlight is education, some additional educations or certificates, work experience such as internships, research experience. Next is volunteer experience, extracurriculars, employability skills, honors, and awards. Here, I wanted to mention that usually we are suggesting students to include the information which is relevant to their major and applying to the university, such as if you have additional education such as certificates, or you have gone through the additional courses, online courses, or some non-degree education which is relevant to your future application process, you should included in your resume. If it's not relevant, for example, if you're applying to the biology majoring, but you have gone through the culinary courses, you may include it into the additional information as skills, but not into the sector for additional education. Next, the first what you should write, the first thing from what we start our resume is the contact information. Contact information consists of your full name, address, the country and city also should be included, phone number, email, and other contact information such as LinkedIn, GitHub, art portfolio, or other. If you have your own website, you could include the website also. So tips here, what tips we can use here? Make sure, first of all, that your email is appropriate and professional. So preferably your email should be should consist of your first name and your family name, or only family name. Don't use your nicknames in your emails because you will look unprofessional. Next is hyperlinks. Use hyperlinks if you have a contact information in LinkedIn or other art portfolio, for example, or you want to include website. Use the hyperlinks. Header in large font than body. So when we start, we from your full name, make it use the header large font, and if you are using including some additional information, then use body. Photo is optional. Here, I wanted to mention that usually U.S. universities, and if you are applying to the work positions in U.S., they don't like when you put photo there. So try not to put your photos in the resume. Next is no birth date, gender, or any other personal info. So you don't have to include your birth date, your gender, your family status, and so on into the resume. The only thing that you may include, and it can be written under your full name, is how person can be addressing you. For example, she, her, hers, or he, him, his, and so on. So next, here we can see the some examples of resume. You can see here the name written in the capital letters, and the phone number, and the hyperlink, and the LinkedIn account, and the email address. So also you can use different emails. If you have several working emails, you may use several working emails, but highlight the email that is more preferably for you to be contacted. Next is education sector. So in education sector, usually we highlight the degrees earned, name of school, graduate date or expected date, city and country of the university, where is university located. So the tips here: list the highest degree first. So not usually we say when we are listing the work experience, we are starting from the work which we are working nowadays and go back historically. When we are highlighting your degrees and education you have, first you list the degree, the highest degree. If you have, for example, PhD, you include PhD. If you already have undergraduate degree which you earned somewhere in other country, you may include undergraduate degree. If you have earned any associate degree or college, as in our understanding, you may include college first and then you go to the school sector. Next is GPA. You may include your GPA into the resume. As you are applying to the university, you may include the GPA, but you have to point out, for example, it's 4.9 GPA out of 5.9. So the maximum GPA should be included also, so there will be an understanding. If you just mention that you have 4.0 GPA and don't say that it's out of 4.0, then the application commission may understand that you are having 4.9 GPA out of 5.9. So next is the 1, 5, 10% of the class. So like you are winning the stipend or Olympiads and it's 1% of the class. Next is place education before experience only if recently graduated. If you are graduating, if you have worked already and you have graduated, for example, 2 years ago, you should include the education sector after your work experience sector. Next is define acronyms. So MSU, you should use MSU instead of Moscow State University. Here we can see the examples of the education sector. So here on the first, Elizabeth Lobacheva included that National Research University, Higher School of Economics, Moscow, Russia. And for understanding, she included the information about the university, that it has the first place in Forbes and the second place in psychology in Russia. So the commission there will be an understanding by the commission that university is top-ranked university in Russian Federation. Here we see that the name of the city and country was included, and also the university and the school name also should be included into the resume education sector. Next is experience sector. In experience sector is, as most of applicants for undergraduate degree don't have usually any work experience. So what kind of experience may be included into the experience sectors? It's volunteering, such as UN model, maybe EducationUSA, you were EducationUSA volunteer, or you were volunteering as the personal tutor for elementary school children, or you were volunteering in your school during the summer period and teaching English language. So you should be including all the information. Next is research. I always say, and I don't stop saying, that during the high school it's very relevant and it's very important to have research experience. Here it's your star time to include your research experience, where you have done your research, with what group or with what professor, with which professor, or if you were making research on your own, you should also include your research experience in this point. Next is summer work. If you had an opportunity of working during the summer, even though your work experience was not relevant to your major you're applying to, you should include. Here you will show your discipline, and you will show that you contribute to the family finance and for your education also. Next is internship, and also it's very important to include unpaid internship here, tutoring, mentoring, as I already said. If you have taken part in any program or in any projects as a mentor or tutor, definitely include this information. Next is hackathons, any other clubs that you are a part of, and extracurricular activities also should be included, such as if you are playing drums, if you are playing tennis, if you are a good swimmer and you are swimming or playing polo, also included here. Tips: there is no shameful work experience. As I already said, the work experience should not be relevant to your major. If you're applying to psychology, no one is waiting for you to be working as a psychologist or as a or shadowing psychologist during your summertime. Even if you were working as the cashier in the supermarket, include this information. Next is find meaning in your activities. So impress admissions is not one of them. You should be understanding that your activities should be meaningful. If you are working to contribute to your family financial situation, it's meaningful. If you are doing, it's not good to do a lot of activities during your high school. Go deeper. Try to be professional in any sphere. Next is do not lie. Never lie in your resume, as this information may be double checked by the admissions commission. For example, if you have not been working or have not been volunteering as a tutor during the summer period in your school, and you will say the admissions commission may be contacting your career counselor at school or your teachers at school, and even they can contact the your recommender, because as you will be asking your teacher to give you a letter of recommendation, so they will be asking them if you were doing this or that job or you were volunteering. Elected positions matter as well as growth. So if you were doing some positions during your high school time and you don't feel the growth there, even though include this information. Here we see some information. You should be including also the period when you have done this activity. Also, if you were doing volunteering work and you have done it several times, include the information by adding the period. So the commission will see that you were volunteering during the summer period 3 times, for example. Next is use usually you don't have to use the whole word for the month name. Usually we use it in the number points. For example, instead of January, use the 01, the first month, and instead of March, for example, the third month. Next is how to describe. We will be talking about how to describe your experience. Describe your job duties through the significant accomplishments and values. For example, I achieved X by doing Y and Z. I achieved the tutoring experience by tutoring the elementary school children during the summer period. Always start with the verb in past tense. So don't use the present tense and don't use the continuous form. Use the past tense. Use active verbs. Start with the most recent one and quantify experiences by replacing adjectives like many, some with numbers. Over 200. I have done over 5 projects during my high school period, or using qualifying descriptions instead of mentor students, use mentor groups of 20 freshmen, for example. So here we see the active words that can be verbs that can be used in your resume when describing your activities in administrative and organizational sector, in analytic and research, in communication, in creativity, and in financial. You can find more synonyms for these verbs, but still mostly we use these verbs, and you can also go back to the recording and use and just find the most suitable verb for yourself. Here we see the in blue, we highlighted a good example of description, and in red, we highlighted the not so good example of the description. Additional section. In additional sections, we usually explain, or we usually include the information about the skills, some soft skills or business skills, the frameworks, some tech skills, languages, interests, and extracurricular activities. So all the information you wanted to include and which is not relevant to the education or your work experience or internships may be included to the additional sector. Here we can use here we can explain the language and IT skills, describe your extracurricular activities. When you describe your language skills, usually use the level of your language. If you are saying that you are fluent in English and you already know your level, put the level there. But if you are not have taken any language assessment test and you don't know your language, try to write down the English language, for example, beginner level or upper intermediate level. So, and also about the tech skills and any soft skills, also they can be included in the additional sector, and also your interests. If you are, for example, playing drums, but you are not professional playing drums, but you are very passionate, you can include it into your interest sphere. So I try to be concise and try to explain all the information, Alexander. So if you have any questions, please.
Thank you, Ainash, so much for all of the information that you provided. Once again, for those who maybe just recently joined us, feel free to put your questions in the comment section. And there was so much of useful information that you definitely can go back and double check everything that Ainash shared with us. And I have just a couple of questions for you. So one of them is, can you elaborate on the key difference between a traditional resume and one tailored specifically for the United States universities?
Certainly. So here are some key differences between a traditional resume and one that we usually use for the US university application. First is emphasis on academic achievements. In a resume which is used for university applications, typically places a stronger emphasis on academic achievements such as GPA, standardized test scores, academic honors, scholarships, and relevant coursework, which is next is extracurricular activities and leaderships. While both resumes may include extracurricular activities, a resume which is used for application to US universities often highlights leadership positions and active involvement in clubs or organizations, and also community service and internships. Oh, and also research activities. Personal statement or objective. Traditional resume may include a brief objective or a summary statement at the top, and whereas a resume for US universities might include a personal statement or objective that explains the applicant's academic interests, career goals, and reasons for applying to the particular university or program. Next is relevant skills and qualifications. Usually we say that we describe or include the information about all the skills that we have, but when applying to US universities, we offer to include only the skills and qualifications which is relevant to the program or university one is applying to. Next is research and academic projects should be highlighted when applying to US, when using the resume for application to US universities. Volunteering and community services. While community service and volunteer work can be included in both resumes, applicants for US universities may want to provide more details about their volunteer experience, including the impact they made and any leadership roles they assumed. And also formatting and length. Resumes should be well formatted and easy to read, both of them. Resume for US universities may be longer and more detailed, depending on applicants' academic and extracurricular experiences. By tailoring the resume to highlight these key differences and focusing on the qualities and experiences that US universities value, applicants can effectively showcase their qualifications and increase their chance for admissions.
Perfect, Ainash. Thank you. We're going forward. And my next question is, are there any common mistakes that applicants should avoid when creating their resumes for university applications? You mentioned not to lie because it's easy to check, but are there any other mistakes that people do?
Yes, again, I wanted to say that the mistakes, including irrelevant informations, is the first and the most highlighted mistake that we say. Applicants should focus on including only relevant information that showcase their academic achievements, extracurricular activities, leadership roles, and any other experiences that demonstrate their qualifications for the program they are applying. Next is exaggerating or falsifying information. It's important for applicants to be honest. So we don't say it's definitely bad to lie, but exaggerating what you have done is also not so good. If you have taught only one student during your mentorship project, you should be honest and say that, or not to include the number. Don't say that you have taught over 10 students during your mentorship program if you have if you haven't done so. Using a generic resume, each university application should have a tailored resume that highlights the applicant's strengths and aligns with the specific requirements and criteria of the program and institution. Poor formatting and presentation. So the resume should be well organized, easy to read, and visually appealing. Avoid using overly fancy fonts, colors, or layouts that may distract from the content. Make sure that there's no typos and grammatical errors in your resume, because it's very bad for you during your application. Including personal information, as I already said, don't include any details such as age, marital status, race, religion, or political affiliation. It's not polite to include this information into your resume. Neglecting extracurricular activities, not tailoring the resume to the program. So when you're writing your resume, and we know that most of students apply to several universities during the application period, try to tailor all the resumes to the program and university you're applying to. If you're applying to 10 universities, your 10 resumes should be different. And not including achievements or accomplishments. Some students are not bad in explaining their achievements, and they are not good in describing what they have done, and some of them think that it's not relevant information, or it's not a good way to be to explain to include this information into their resume. It's really a mistake.
Thank you, Ainash. We have one question from the audience. Pavel is asking, if I have completed 10 courses on the subject of the field for which I am submitting my resume to the university or close to it, Should I list all the courses, or this will be too much?
Thank you for your question, Pavel. It's a great question. When describing the courses that you have taken, you should be highlighting that you have taken over 10 or over 9, we can say, if you have taken 10 courses, over 9 courses relevant to your majoring field online, for example, in the platforms such as Coursera, but highlight the most relevant or the most recent ones. So which one you think are more important in application process? For example, if you are applying to the IT major and you have taken different programming courses, try to use the bullet points and try to include the most important ones that you are thinking and which will be most relevant to the program you are applying to.
Perfect. Thank you, Ainash. By the way, feel free to leave your questions as well as Pavel did in the comment section, and we will get back to them. And I think we have one more, a little bit time left for one more question. So how should applicants approach explaining any gaps in their academic or professional history on their resumes for the United States universities?
Thank you very much for your question, Alexander. So when addressing gaps in academic or professional history in resume for university, applicants should approach the explanation with honesty, clarity, and positivity. Here are some tips how to do it, and don't be shamed by the gaps. It's not bad to have a gap in your academic, for example, when applying to a US university. First, be transparent. Clarity state the reason for the gap in your academic or professional history, whereas it was due to the personal reasons, health issue, travel, or pursuing other interests. Honestly, pointed them out. Focus on growth. Emphasize how you utilize the time during the gap year. This could include volunteering, internships, freelance work, or self-study, or relevant projects that helped you to develop skills or gain valuable experiences. Next is highlight transferable skills. If your gap involved experience not directly related to academics or your career, highlight any transferable skills or lessons learned that are relevant to your field of study or your future profession or your future program you're applying to. Stay positive, keep it concise. While it's important to provide context for the gap, keep your explanation brief and to the point. Admission officers will be appreciating your clarity and brevity in your resume. Use optional sections. If the gap is significant or requires further explanation, consider including an optional section in your resume dedicated to additional information or explanatory notes. This will allow you to address the gap without cluttering your main resume sections. And seek feedback. If you have done the resume, if you have already wrote your resume, ask somebody to read your resume, and ask for the feedback if they have any questions for you, such as if they found any gaps in your extracurricular activities, and if they have any questions about your interests or about your skills. Make it, how to say, don't be afraid of any questions from your peers, as the same question may arise during your application period.
That's for sure. Don't be afraid and be ready for hopefully a good experience that you will have during your application. Fingers crossed to you, all those people who are watching and who have this goal to apply for the United States universities. You will get accepted from the beginning, but if not, try again, try over, and you will get there. Okay, Ainash, thank you so much for your expertise and your time today that you shared with us. And for our audience, thank you as well for being with us. Feel free to still leave your questions in the comment section, and we'll get back to them in a written form later if the question will be relatable to today's topic. We were talking about how to create a winning resume. If you just tuned in, feel free to start watching it one more time, starting from the beginning, because I now shared so much useful information for all of us. Okay, thank you very much for today. It's done, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Sasha. Thank you very much, and good luck, everybody.
Good luck.
Bye.
Cutting edge fields are very, very important and relevant. It helps humanity to make progress and step forward. My name is Boglárka. I study computer science with AI specializations, and I'm from Hungary.
I'm Ken. I'm studying atmospheric sciences, and I'm from Japan.
My name is Daniel, and I'm studying cybersecurity, and I'm from Austria.
My name is Ibrahim. I'm studying computer science, specifically artificial intelligence, and I'm from Egypt.
My name's Linda. I'm a PhD student in electrical engineering, and I'm from Ecuador.
Ever since I was a small child, I was fascinated about the new technology from the US.
Whether it's from a big company or a new groundbreaking research finding, the US was always involved in producing cutting-edge technologies. So wanting to study cutting-edge fields in the US, it was a no-brainer.
There's a huge potential in AI and applying it in different fields of our lives. I've been doing research in applying artificial intelligence, machine learning-based tools and software to aid diagnosis and personalized medicine, ultimately.
Studying in the US has given me the freedom to choose what I want because of the breadth of options available. And for me personally, my care goes towards creatives and using AI to give them the best tools to achieve their vision.
I'm studying atmospheric sciences. I use numerical models, many different kinds of simulations to predict and quantify the change in the climate.
I'm really excited about the field of cybersecurity. That means I try to find solutions for cutting-edge cybersecurity threats in the future, preserve the consumer's privacy while innovating and developing new software.
I wanted to find universities that have a strong research center in intelligent transportation. And my favorite part about studying the US is that everyone has this mindset of doing things better and improving technology.
In my opinion, the US is the best place to study cutting-edge fields because you have this hub of innovation that produces the technology we're going to use today and in the future.